was driving you at that point? You were just an angry young man.
Yeah, and I had a lot of cojones, you know. I still have. You know, I haven't changed. I've mellowed somewhat.
Have you?
Well, somewhat, yeah. But I learned in this business. Actually, you know, I never walked around any of the stations I was at with a chip on my shoulder towards management. I got along with these guys. They were always guys.
Yes.
That was the business. But when it got down to, you know, what I wanted to do on the air, I didn't want them interfering. I always thought that I knew better. These guys were salesmen. Most of the managers that I ever worked for came out of sales, which is fine. I love salesmen. They were selling my show, and I was making money off of it. So I didn't want them interfering that way. That's all. I just decided I was going to do it my way, and I did it my way. The other thing, I got along fine until we got in contract negotiations, and I always did my own. And I knew what I was worth, and I was going to try to get what I was worth. I never got what I was worth because you never do. But I got close.
How much of that is the Ranger in you?
I think it's a lot. Growing up on the Iron Range. I mean, the range was blue collar, you know. Guys worked in the mines. They worked on the railroad. When I was in high school, I worked on the railroad, tamping in. I worked in open pits. Couldn't work underground. You had to be 21. And the union movement was strong there, you know.
You've had the opportunity to look and comment on our community for 26 years. How much has it changed, and how much has it changed for the better?
Physically, it's changed a lot. When I first came here, the tallest building was the Fauché Tower. We got a lot of skyscrapers now, and the rest of them. I never go into those buildings. They're kind of foreboding to me. What else has changed here for the better? I don't
Race
know.
relations, and we talked about
Oh,
this.
yeah. Have race relations changed for the better? In my day, when I first came into Minneapolis, St. Paul, late 40s, early 50s, we used to go to what we call black and tan places, after-hour places, you know?
Right.
And
You got to explain that for people, because a lot of them don't know what black and tan.
A black and tan meant, the tan actually meant white, okay? Black people, white people, we went to these clubs up on Olson Highway. They were jazz joints, after hours. You could bring a bottle in and get mix. It was illegal, but it was not enforced, okay? And you could go up and listen to some great music, have a drink if you liked, something to eat, and it was a mixed crowd, and there was never any problem. Mrs. Allen's out on Rice Street was another spot in St. Paul that I remember we went to. Big Al's, one of the all-time great jazz joints. Black and tan, no problem. I don't know of many places now where blacks and whites go to have a little revelry outside of maybe South Beach?
There's a few places.
A few places.
The Lounge, the Quest. They're mostly for younger kids.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people feel that, oh, everything's fine. We can go to integrated restaurants. We can go to integrated clubs. We can go wherever we want. But there's a lot of underlying hatred and fear in this community.
Well, speaking of somebody who's white bread, I think the problem is that we deal in glittering generalities. There are young black hoodlums who mostly beat up on themselves and shoot themselves and shoot others. And I think the white community then says, this is how all black people are, which is a glittering generality, and it's wrong. And I think the fear you talk about, the fear and loathing might come about because of that fact, that this does exist in this community and other communities. Now, it would seem to me if economics were right in this country and those young guys could be employed, that this sort of thing wouldn't be happening. I don't think they're born that way. I mean, you're getting me into a thing that I'm no expert on when we get into race. But if people don't have the means to make a living, then they're going to do other things. And this is what's happened there.
Another issue, politics here.
Yeah.
You've seen Hubert Humphrey at his finest.
Yep.
Rudy Perpich at his finest.
Mm-hmm.
What do we have now, in your opinion? What is Minnesota politics?
Well, it certainly isn't as liberal as it used to be. I mean, Hubert Humphrey introduces the first civil rights bill in Congress. Walter Mondale, a liberal. Orville Freeman, former governor of Minnesota, a liberal. Even the Republican governors have been liberal in this state. I think that now what the Democrats, both nationally and even here, call themselves is centrists.
Some
Liberals
days.
become a bad word, you know. People,
It is.
oh, it's the L word. You know, can't call yourself liberal anymore. I don't understand that. What's wrong with being a liberal? If it means that you feel for people, knee-jerk liberal, huh? You like the poor, huh? Well, you can't do that. You're not a good American then. I think, you know, if you feel for other people and that's being liberal, you feel that people should get a decent shake in life, get a decent salary, have some security in their life. If you feel that there are disparities in our country between the rich and the poor and the middle class, if that means being liberal, I don't think it's so bad.
One more thing I want to ask your opinion about radio.
Yeah.
Has it changed for the better or for the worse? And is that one of the reasons that you got out?
It is not the reason I got out. Has it changed? Yes. It used to be a medium of big personalities. Big personalities in every market in America. Small, medium-sized, large markets like the Twin Cities. It's dwindled down to just a few. What's that song? Da-da-da-da, dwindled down, Sinatra saying.
The days dwindled down.
The radio personalities dwindled down to a precious few. And I say without any undue modesty that I was one of those precious few of the big personalities. That kind of radio's over with. It got to be, near the end there, the last year or so, it got to be a trial for me. It really did. I just figured the routine got to me. And once I got on the air, I liked it.
Yeah.
But just getting there, preparing, and the rest of it, I just felt I had to do something else. I've been in this business almost a half a century. It's been 47 years.